Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our weekly international prop chat on every Saturday, 9:30 p.m. GMT plus 8 at FB or YouTube Live at IQI International Sales. I'm Mandy Chen from IQI Global, your host of today. On behalf of IQI Global, the Asia's biggest real estate and investment agency, also a member of Juwai.com, I would like to thank everyone for supporting our program. Our webinar usually features some of the best investment hotspot or project in the various country. And if you like our program, which you think that is benefiting you, do invite and share it with your friends. Should you have any comments and questions, feel free to leave it at the comment box. We will revert to you shortly. Tonight, we are very honorable to invite our Vice President of Business Development of IQI Philippines, Mr. David Mintz, as our guest speaker on our international prop chat. We will share a topic, Philippines as preferred city to live, work, and play for foreigner. Hello, David. How are you?
Hello, good evening. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for having me, Mandy. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, okay. So maybe you can have a brief introductions of yourself to the audience.
Absolutely. My name is David Mintz. I'm American. I have been, coming from Texas. I've traveled overseas for about 15, 16 years now. And then
Mhm.
I landed in the Philippines over 10 years ago. And, over the course of my experience in the Philippines, have, worked in many different environments and then finally found my home here at IQI.
Okay, that's great. But a lot of people was just wondering, like, since you have been traveling so many countries, why you choose to settle down in Philippines?
Well, to be honest, you know, it originally happened by, I guess, by luck, or by the winning the lottery. I was transferred here with work,
Oh, really?
and so
Mm-hmm.
work brought me here and said, we want you to go to Philippines. And I said, I kind of know where this is. Looked it up on a map and found out a bit more information. And, it was in the South Pacific. It was, an archipelago nation of over 7,600 islands. And I said, pack the bags, let's go. So, I think it's something that's exciting, came for work, and then stayed for the beauty, for the people, for the culture, and for the opportunity.
Wow. Okay. Initially, when you thought that you win the lottery, I thought that you really went to the casino, and that you won.
Even better, even better.
Stay
You can't win this life. You can't win this life.
Yep. Oh, that's great to know. So, maybe can you just briefly tell us, it's like, how's the process for you to actually really move to Philippines in terms of what sort of visas that you are getting? Would that be difficult to apply and all this?
Right, absolutely. So from my journey, I think it's the easiest to speak to. I came here originally. When I land, I'm on a tourist visa for 58 days.
Mm-hmm.
During that time, the company, through an attorney, files for a work permit, also known as an I-9 work visa. So you go through several different steps. All in all, it took about 4 months to get
Mm-hmm.
it. So to get the alien registration card, the work permit, and everything put together. But then that
Mm-hmm.
allows you free travel in and out of the country. But depending on what nationality you are, Philippines is very open to tourists and travelers and immigrants from around the world.
Yep, and I English is not a barrier in terms of communications because most of the Filipino or even in the government office they speak English, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. So I've had the opportunity to live in South America and Africa, spent considerable time in the Middle East, spent almost a year in Thailand. And one of the things that's so nice about the Philippines, uh, besides speaking English, they just have a pro-Western and especially a pro-American culture
Mm-hmm.
that makes it very easy to adapt into to living here, working here. And anything that you have to do with government processes, everything is in English. So for native English speakers or people who are fluent in the language, it's a very, very smooth process.
Okay, before you actually decided to move to Philippines for work, right, have you been to this part of country before, or you probably just haven't been to this country and you just said, "Oh, good, this is a great opportunity. Let's go." That's the way?
Yeah, to be honest, it was the latter. I have traveled pretty extensively, fortunately, but I had not been to the Philippines yet. Actually, had not been to Asia as a whole. So this was my first country in Asia to travel to with all my bags and to set up life. But fortunately, one of the great things about the location of Philippines is it's super easy to travel from here to all of Southeast Asia. So I have taken advantage of that for sure,
Mm-hmm.
and spend many weekends traveling throughout the region.
Okay, so mind that I ask you, what is the first impression when you land in the Philippines? The very, very first impressions.
My very, very, very first impression was it's hot. It's a very warm, humid, tropical atmosphere. So that hit me first. The second I got off the plane. Second of all was just the warmth of the Filipino people. Honestly,
Mm-hmm,
they're
mm-hmm,
very caring, very passionate, very eager to help out. They have a culture that loves and embraces foreigners that you don't see everywhere in the world.
mm-hmm,
And then, kind of those first couple days, like I said, English was very, very common. So that made it easy to communicate, to get around, and just honest. good, hardworking people. I had heard and read online before coming, so many stories about how dangerous, the Philippines
Yeah,
was.
exactly.
Yeah, and all these terrible, terrible things. And I've been here 10 and a half years, and I can honestly say I have never experienced even one single instance here that gave me one reason of concern. It's been extraordinarily safe, and just a great, wonderful place to be.
Yeah, that's great to know because when told people that I'm going to Philippines or I are actually in the Philippines, the first thing they come to me and say, "Be careful, and watch out for this and that. Don't go out at night too late and all those things. You better be safe." And no, not that I've seen or experienced. So it's pretty safe to me. And well, this is I would say that it's basically people's mentality or the first impressions towards this country, and it's good that you actually clarified it, and it's actually
Right.
absolutely safe
And
countries.
And I will say, Mandy, on top of that was my biggest fear coming.
Mhm.
The biggest surprise, that I had was just how developed and how large Metro Manila was. I
Yep.
was, I've lived in Africa, I've lived in South America. I, had, I guess I would say I didn't expect it to be as developed, and as, I don't like to say it, but let's just say first world as it is.
Mhm.
The buildings, the skyscrapers, the development here was just sprawling. It was huge. It was beautiful, and that's something that really caught me off guard.
Yeah, to be honest, I as you know that I just visited you 2 weeks ago, and that was my first impressions in Philippines as well. I haven't been to Philippines, even I actually promoted Philippine properties before, but I never
Hmm.
been to Philippines. And my impressions towards Philippines is totally different when I land. I
Hmm.
see the totally different countries, and not what I expected, okay, but
Hmm.
to my surprise, it's really great. It is a great countries, and literally I fall in love with this country. I didn't expect that it's everything is so organized, especially you talk about BCG. It's like, wow, it's pets friendly kind of cities, and everything is so organized, so tidy, it's so clean. I didn't
Hmm.
expect that, to be honest. Yep.
Right, absolutely. So I live in Bonifacio Global City, or BGC, as you said, and it's one of the newer, central business districts, and it is very clean, very tidy, very put together. I had a friend come in from Dubai who hadn't been here since, I believe it was the early '90s, and he was astonished by the development. He said it looks like it could be a street in New York City. Everything is just new, fresh, put together, very well developed. And then the other side of the equation is it's also a very family friendly, pet friendly. The culture here is so oriented towards family that, in the weather's conducive, that you see people out walking their dogs, with their kids, with their friends, having a drink on the street and just enjoying life all the time. And I think that's something that's really special.
Yeah, and this is probably what a lot of migrants that actually are expected to be. You want to live in a new countries whereby it's easy to adapt, and you have a friendly cultures and
Mhm.
friendly people around. I guess that's the best things that you actually look into, and perhaps once you know it and you feel it and you've seen it, you do not feel the fear of it, and you find that
Mhm.
looks it's a great country to live.
Yeah, absolutely. There's absolutely zero to fear. Just steal from Nike's tagline. Just do it. If you're thinking
Just do
about
it.
coming out here to experience it, everybody I've ever had come visit has absolutely loved it. Whether it be for business or friends for pleasure, visiting the islands around the country, everybody walks away with a fantastic experience. And
What
that's why
about
I've stayed.
yeah, that's why you're here. And what
Hmm.
about eating cultures over there? Is it something different compared to America or other parts of the Asia, or what do you think about it?
Did you say work culture?
Yep,
Work
the work
culture.
culture.
I I think that at the core of the Filipino people is a family oriented culture. And so that transcends into every aspect of life. So, in the office environment, in the work environment, you know, the most successful businesses I've seen try to recreate that home atmosphere
Mm,
where people interact with each other, have lunch. You know, people are very, very connected here.
mhm.
They have what they call chismis or gossip and talking back and forth and just getting to know each other. It's not just professional, it's personal. There's definitely, a blend here so that every aspect of life is talked about and everybody's celebrated. And I think that's something that's really exciting. One thing that is interesting here, because there is a strong business process outsourcing or BPO uh, workforce here, is that there are people who are working 24/7.
Mm.
So, if you have, a city that never sleeps like New York City, this is almost a country that doesn't sleep because you have people who are working day shift, mid shift, or night shift. So consequently, it opens up a lot of opportunity because there are restaurants, there are bars, there's things to do 24/7.
So literally, you are saying that people there are very hardworking.
Yeah, absolutely. Very hardworking and love doing it. And love doing it. And I think that's what makes it special.
It's like very committed and very responsible as well. I would say that.
Uh-huh.
Don't you
And I
agree
think,
with me?
you know, because of the growth in the Philippines over the last, 2 decades, 2.5 decades, you know, people are more than one or two generations, a large percent of the population from living in the province. So people are still very excited by the opportunities that international development has brought and international business has. So there are people who go hour, 2 hours, 3 hours each way to work a day. Rain, shine. Whatever the weather may be, and come into work excited to be there and ready to tackle whatever challenges there are. And I think that's something that really resonates with the business community and international visitors who come see it.
Okay, so sounds great. Okay, what about in terms of the um, entertainment side? I mean, people will enjoy life and people will go out or they will just work and work and work. What sort of a lifestyle over there?
No, no, no. Yeah, people definitely work and get the things done, but the entertainment nightlife here is also fantastic.
Mm,
Surprisingly so. You hear about the big nightlife hotspots in Thailand or Shanghai, Hong Kong,
yeah.
but Manila has quite a bit to offer, and there's more than just a few people who take the opportunity to enjoy the life at all hours of the day.
Yep, and I know that Filipino are great singer. They can
Oh,
really sing very well with
it's
a great
incredible.
voice.
It's
Yeah, it's
incredible.
incredible. Yeah, that's one I totally agree with you, and they are great. All right, so how long actually for you to take to adapt into this new environment, so called? But it seems that doesn't have any problem to you. But any unusual kind of experience that you actually face it in Philippines?
As far as adapting, honestly, it was extremely easy.
Mhm.
Again, I said they're very pro-Western, pro-American. A lot of the major American chain restaurants and businesses are also here. So, as far as adapting, I would say it was the easiest place I've ever lived.
Mhm.
Without a doubt. Nothing that really stood culturally or traditions um, or customs that stood in the way. It was extremely easy. Uh, when you go outside of Manila and travel to the islands and a little bit more provincial areas, it becomes a little bit more challenging. With transportation,
Mhm.
and then you get to ride in a variety of different transportation, whether that be the Filipino infamous jeepney, which is like a yeah, you've seen it. Uh, Buses, tricycles, all of that becomes very interesting. And then, just as you go out to the different islands, the lifestyle slows down from Manila.
Mm-hmm.
People are more laid back, and people seem to just genuinely be more relaxed.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I guess it's like you can balance your life after a headache lifestyles in the city. So you over the weekend or the long holidays, you can actually go to the island to have a bit of relaxations and take a short break. I think that'd be great. And the traveling part is it will not be too long, right? If you want to go to any of the island nearby.
No, not at all. From Metro Manila to the international airport, depending on time of day with traffic, uh,
Mm-hmm.
you can be in the airport, let's say roughly in 30 minutes to an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, the airport's actually very, very easy. And then traveling to the various tourist destinations is an hour to an hour and a half flight. Very quick, very easy.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're in absolute paradise. So for international, people coming to the Philippines for the first time, or for people who are coming to live here, a huge draw and a huge attraction is all of the nature that's available just waiting to be explored. Whereas places like Thailand have abundant beauty. It's highly marketed, and a lot of PR goes into it. In Philippines, there's still so many beautiful places that have yet to be commercially developed. And then there are also places where you can go, such as Boracay Island, which is just a huge party island where you can go and have the time of your life.
Mm-hmm. And the other one is the Palawan, right?
Yes, if you go to Palawan, it's nature beauty like you've never seen. I mean, it's stunning. The scuba diving, the snorkeling is the best in the world.
Oh, looks like you have covered the whole of Philippines.
Yeah, in 10.5 years, I've seen quite a bit of this beautiful country.
That is great. Okay. Well, we talk about lifestyle. We talk about the working cultures, environment. It seems like it's very easy, for migrants or even for tourists to come over. All right. So, probably one of the most common question: what is the best food in Philippines? I Have you tried any best food that local best food that in Philippines have you ever tried? And maybe
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it wouldn't be allowed for me to stay in the country if I didn't mention Jollibee.
Mhm,
Jollibee is the Filipino equivalent to McDonald's.
mhm,
And interestingly enough, there are business cases that are studied around the world in business school, because the Philippines is the first country that McDonald's came into that
mhm,
couldn't outplace uh, the local branch. The favoritism for Filipinos for Jollibee is, you know, it's a passion and a loyalty that cannot be separated. And you'll now see that, Jollibee is expanding globally. They're
mhm,
opening branches all throughout the world. It's in the Middle East, it's all throughout Southeast Asia, and even in the United States, it's expanding now.
mhm. Wow. Okay. For those who plan to visit Philippines, so make sure you try Jollibee. As
Absolutely,
to compare with
absolutely. Your time
McDonald's
in
and see
Philippines
that it's
wouldn't be,
comparable.
yeah, wouldn't be complete without going to Jollibee at least once.
So am I saying that are you saying that I need to go back to Philippines because I didn't try the Jollibee in Philippines?
You technically haven't been here if you haven't had Jollibee.
So it's all your fault because you didn't bring me to Jollibee.
I I take the blame for this one. I take the blame. It's my mistake. Uh, I'll share the blame with Drew, but yes, it's my fault.
All right. That's great. Okay. So, guess that it seems like I shall not ask the next question because I'm going to ask you what do you like the best of the Manila or rather Philippine? It seems that you say everything is good. Am I right to say that?
Yeah, if I'll say one area that's challenging here, there is a lot of traffic. Traffic is
Oh
something
yeah,
that
tell me about it.
yeah, traffic is something, they say you don't measure distance in kilometers or miles, you measure in the length of time it takes you to get there. So that is something that's a challenge, but you learn to adapt and plan schedules according to what the traffic's going to be like, and then
Mm-hmm.
also Metro Manila is composed of different cities inside of it, and most of the things that you need from a day-to-day life you can find within walking distance or within a short taxi ride, and so a lot of times you don't have to experience too much of it, but if you do, yeah, it's an experience.
You are so polite.
Yes,
So,
I'm being polite. I have the circle
okay.
behind me, but because of the
Yeah.
Philippines. So.
So, but to be honest, what is the worst experience or the longest journeys that you stuck in the traffic?
Uh, I've been on a journey, to my former office that could take as short as 15 minutes, taking, just under 2.5 hours.
Wow, 15 minutes to 2.5 hours. My God.
Yes. And then here, what's interesting is as you move into Christmas time, or what they call the Burr months,
Mhm,
Philippines celebrate Christmas from all of the Burr months. So September, October, November, December, that's all Christmas time to
mhm,
Filipinos. The
mhm,
closer you get to Christmas, the more people are shopping, and
mhm.
the busier and the more traffic it seems to be.
Wow. Okay. Can't imagine how bad the traffic is.
Yeah, and it's interesting because people work 24/7. You can have that traffic at any time of day.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Well, I guess being a taxi driver or Grab driver will earn a lot in Philippines, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not something I would choose, but if that's what you want to do, by all means, there's opportunity here.
Yeah. Too expensive to hire you. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm sure that when you land, and the first things that you look at it is the property to rent the properties. Is the process very difficult, or different from other parts of the world? And can you just share a bit of this experience when it comes to renting a properties, or buying a properties?
Right. So, I would say that when I first came, I was fortunate enough to have corporate housing. So there was a corporate leasing company who was contracted with my employer. So I
Mm-hmm.
came in straight to a condominium that was already set up, and those options are there. After 2 months, I said, I think I can do better. Uh, I think it's interesting in that compared to where in the U.S. most condominiums are owned, the one corporation owns the entire building. So, you have an agent for the entire building. Here, the condominiums are owned individually, as there are many parts of the world, but that was something that was very different from the US. So, looking for a condo meant a lot of online searching.
Mm-hmm.
And through a variety of different brokers. They don't have a central, managed listing system here. So you can have one broker who will show you a variety of different properties,
Mm-hmm.
and then you go to a different broker to see more. It makes it for an interesting, because it's kind of a game of what am I going to discover tomorrow? What's the next listing? What's the next opportunity? And then also the quality of what you find varies considerably. So even with inside one building, unit 302 may be terrible, but unit 304 can be freshly renovated and absolutely fantastic. So it took a little bit of time to get to know which developers are the best, have the best reputations, that have built buildings that do better than others, have better reputations, have the right amenities, and obviously always location. But it only took me 2 months to find a place that I lived for 6 years. And so that was great. And then since then, I have moved twice, uh, almost all with inside Bonifacio Global City. I did spend 2 years in Makati, another central business district. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, I think the biggest thing when it comes to finding a place to live in the Philippines is find a location, find a city that fits you, that fits, your what you need for work, what it is, if you're looking for nightlife, if you're looking for restaurants, if you need something that's pet friendly, and then that will kind of unfold where you should go. And then there are a variety of different brokers that you can pick through online platforms, especially IQI, who will be there.
I'm gonna say that to you. Unfortunately, you said it.
Yeah, especially IQI Philippines. Please contact us now.
Yeah.
who, who will be there to kind of help guide you onto what building to get more specific. But really find where in the city fits the vibe, the soul, the culture, the nightlife, the entertainment. The close to amenities. There's shopping malls everywhere here, so that's not an issue. But that's kind of the key to it.
Yeah, in short, that look for a trustworthy real estate agents, which is very professional, especially David and his team from
Yes,
IQS.
absolutely. My team would be absolutely happy to help you at any time.
Great. Okay. So any advice for the new migrants or people who decided to work in Philippines? Do you have any advice or to them?
Yeah, I would say, hey, first of all, just go for it. Take the plunge. If you're on the fence, if you're not sure whether or not it's the right decision for you, you won't regret it. It's a very easy to adapt, beautiful country. Manila's a cosmopolitan city that has everything you could ever need. And then you're just steps away from endless natural beauty, and just a short plane ride away from all of Southeast Asia. So I think just go for it. Honestly, I think it's important to just take the chance, take the plunge. It's a very friendly, very warm, very safe place to be, and the people, the culture, the entertainment, the political stability, as well as the economic outlook, is all very favorable here.
Hmm, that's great. Okay, probably one last question is like I know that you actually work from corporate, and what makes you move from corporate to real estate right now? So perhaps you can do a little bit of recruitment over here. Why? Being a realtor in Philippines, is that very easy? And any other process that people should look into if, let's say, they are interested to join us?
Yeah, absolutely. So I came from the corporate world. My background is from IBM in talent acquisition. I came to IQI uh, because I fell in love with the people. The people first, and then second, I got to know the culture of the company. People are warm, people are inviting, and it's fun. And I think that's something that for me personally, I really resonated with is having a company that I felt was inviting, that the people were enjoyable, that I wanted to be there every day. So I think if you're looking at a potential career at IQI, if you're wondering whether or not I should go to a different brokerage or I should come to IQI, I would say come in and talk to us, come in and see us, come and meet the people. You don't have to trust me, you don't have to trust anything I say, but if you spend an hour interacting with the agents, if you see our office, if you get to know us, you'll see that we are all there to help each other, that we are truly a family, and that we're there to see everybody succeed. A lot of brokerages, it's everybody trying to elbow each other out so that they can be the star. With IQI as a company, and with us in Philippines, we are there to support and lift each other up. And I think that stands out amongst our competitors of why we are so successful. So
Yep.
come
And
join us.
especially you can see two of us here. We are, isn't it,
Yeah,
warm and friendly person?
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, to be honest, I met David. This is my second time. First time physically in IQI Philippines, so this is my second time that I meet up him. But we talk like a friend. In IQI we have this so-called family cultures that
Mm-hmm.
we help each other. Okay, sharing is caring, and we love everyone like a family. So we are all brothers and sisters, okay, and work together and build our business and grow our team here.
Yeah, we welcome each other with a hug, not a handshake.
Yeah, true. All right, that
I
is.
think that's something that's different and it's special, and I think it really is, at the core of what makes us successful.
Mm. And of course, the other thing is like being an international agencies. Not only you can actually market on the local properties in Philippines, you also can market international properties. And we are the professional advisor. Okay, we are here to help you to
Mhm.
find your dream home, not just in the local but internationally as well. And of course, if you're looking for investments options, we are here to share with you all these investment criteria. Just like this month, the whole campaign that we are working on is how to invest in Philippines and what is the potentials, the criteria, the hotspot, as well as a lot of beautiful projects that's actually waiting for you to choose. So
Mhm.
this is our plan for this month. So don't miss our sharing on every Saturday. As well as on Wednesday. So Wednesday will be on the afternoon session, will be 3 p.m. GMT plus 8, and Saturday will be on the night sessions, which is 9:30 plus 8. So next week, okay, we're going to share with you lots more interesting topics, including the investment criteria in Philippines, as well as the comparisons of investment hotspot in Manila. So do mark your calendar and join us. And if you like our program, so please share it to your friends and support us by giving us lots of love and likes. Uh, we will be very appreciate. And if you
Absolutely.
miss any of our webinar, okay, especially for last week about the 8 reasons why you should look in Philippines, okay, you can watch the replay at Facebook or YouTube at IQY International Sales. Once again, I would like to thank David for such an awesome sharing, especially on your personal experience that actually benefit a lot of us, especially a lot of people wanted to migrate to Philippines, such a beautiful country, or even plan to actually work in Philippines. But everyone will have a doubts, especially when you go to a new countries, and whereby a lot of people will tell you that, oh, this particular country is not safe and all the thing. Well, today, after David's sharing, so everything is easy, okay? Not much challenge, okay? And it's
It's
very
great.
beautiful, friendly countries and good lifestyles, and so you can work-life balance. So for those that who really think of uh, living into country, Malaysia or some other countries to another new country, choose Philippines, right?
Absolutely. We welcome you with open arms.
Yep. Okay. Well, that's all. Let me see if there's any questions for you. Seems like there's none of the questions for you, and your sharing is awesome. All right. So I wish you have a good weekend. Take care. Stay
All right.
safe.
Thank you so much, Mandy. I appreciate it. Thank you. I was wonderful to get to see you again and look forward to seeing you here so we can go have Jollibee.
Yeah, you owe me one therapy, okay?
Absolutely. I promise.
Okay. So bye bye. Take care,
Bye. Thank
everyone.
you. Bye, everybody.